A big thank you to our sponsor, iFixit, who fights for your right to repair and makes really cool tools in the process. If you need to fix your phone, laptop, or even a vacuum, iFixit has thousands of parts, tools, and free guides.
Mercury, Mercury Stardust. She's a beacon of hope in the darkest night. Mercury, Mercury Stardust. She'll teach you how to make it all alright.
Hey there, hi, my name is Mercury, and I'm the trans handyman. My pronouns are she, her, and I teach compassionate DIY. We're here to help renters, LGBTQIA members, and anyone who's feeling left out in a DIY space. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Handy Ma'am Hotline. I am taking the week off, so we have a special episode here lined up for you. But I wanted to give you a rundown of all the amazing things that we have done in the last 16 days. So for those who do not know, we have traveled to 52 different cities. That's what we're currently undertaking. But in the first 16 days of my book being out, we have went to 15 different cities. It has been wild, a whirlwind. The first entire week, we were flying every single day in new time zones every different day. It was absolutely a whirlwind. We went to Seattle and New York and Atlanta, Houston, Denver, San Francisco. San Francisco was beautiful, but we went to so many different places. And then the second week, we were on the road the entire time, and we went all the way from Chicago through up to Buffalo, New York, and then all the way down in Minneapolis, Indiana last night. And now I will be taking about another week or so off to rest my brain and my wrist for signing over 3,000 autographs in the last 16 days, which has been just what a wild experience and existence that I'm currently living through. So thank you to everyone who's supported me and loved me. But I would love to tell you a few stories. And Matt is my wonderful best friend in the whole world. Matt, are you there right now?
I am.
Matt, you and I are just going to talk for a little bit because I have a lot to discuss. And I wanted to make this episode a little bit more fun than it just being, a canned episode. So I kind of wanted to talk about what I've been up to. Is that okay with you, buddy?
That's fine with me. What have you been up to?
Well, man, I tell you what, it has been nuts. We have had over 250 people at most of our events, Matt. And if you thought, wow, we're just a small little business doing our thing, boy, you should see these people. Holy cow. They're coming from hours away. We've had people come 7 hours away, 6 hours away. Every single time that we go to a new location, there's someone who spent hours in line waiting for us. The other night, someone had been waiting since noon, and we got there and we did the scheduled event for 7 o'clock at night. So people were camping out with like full umbrellas and everything,
Wow.
waiting for us to come. Lines would be wrapped around buildings and down sidewalks. We had an ice cream truck in Buffalo, New York, show up when they saw how long the line was. This ice cream truck showed up and started serving our audience because they were like, oh, there's a need here, so I might as well fill that. And then there was a balloon maker who was in line who got his balloons and then made everyone balloon animals down the line too. It was a wild ride. Yesterday in Indianapolis, someone brought a hot dog stand and made hot dogs for people in line. Matt, it has been a whirlwind, my friend.
It sounds like a whole economy just pops up around your lines.
It kind of does. We were joking about how much we have been bringing to this little community. People would go into lines and hang out with people and become friends. Multiple people were like, yeah, no, we're like friends with these people now. No, like it's really been eye-opening to see the impact that we're having in such a large way. Not to mention, Maddie, my book hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list underneath the advice section. It's the first book written by a trans woman in that section underneath advice that has ever hit #1.
And so I looked up a little bit about the New York Times thing too. And the reason how to and advice books have their own category is that they completely overcrowd all other nonfiction.
Yes.
So if it's not like you number one in this like side category. It's like if you were allowed in the other category, you would have been number one there too.
Yeah, and the reason why that matters, and thank you for clarifying that, Matt, for a lot of people who are listening, is because we were number one in the entire country for sales. If we were if the number one bestseller list was just for sales, we would have beat out every book. That's how much books I sold. So in the entire United States, we sold the most books in an entire week. That's wild, Maddie. That's wild.
Like what do I even say to that?
I don't even know
My brain
how to
is broken.
I don't even know how to quantify that in my head, that like how widely successful we have been, and how like these is just still the building blocks. This is still the building blocks of something, and we're growing this into something. We're not having even reached that peak of the mountain yet. And seeing all the impact we've been having is absolutely nuts. You know, the independent bookstores who have been hosting us, Matt, have been blown away. A lot of them will be like, I've never seen this many people in our store in a single week, let alone a day, you know? And some of these bookstores are like, as small as like 350 or 400 square feet. Some of these are tiny. We have to have the line go outside in order to fit people. And some of these bookstores are much bigger. Some like one in Elliott Bay in Seattle, I think. They were very large and beautiful, but they had no air conditioning. So people were waiting in line in like 95-degree weather inside of the bookstore. But people were willing to do that. And we're getting through about 250 to 300 people every 2 hours. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good at getting through. Me, Danny, and Basil have a system down in order to make sure that we see a lot of people, but I'm still connecting to people. You know, it's really important for me. Like one of the things I really like is to learn people's names and make eye contact with them and just chill with them for a second or laugh with them while I'm signing their book. And they might only get like 30 seconds with me, but we try to make those 30 seconds really count. And I try my best to get through as many people, but then also have quality interactions with them as much as I possibly can. So, oof, boy, what a whirlwind, Maddie. Man, I have so much to tell you, but I wanted to tell you about what happened today.
I've seen some text messages about this.
Yeah, I have been texting the group page today about what has been going on. We've had no problems traveling at all. We had no problems flying, no problems driving until today. We were coming from Indianapolis, Indiana, which is a pretty short drive to Madison. It's like 5 hours, not that bad for us since we were doing 8-hour days in the car, right? So we get all the way to Chicago, maybe like an hour outside of Chicago, like 45 minutes out of Chicago. And one of the tires went flat on our vehicle that we were renting. And we were like, oh no. But unfortunately, we were on the far left side of the road. So Danny was going to pull over on that side, but that would have been so dangerous because the side of the car that was facing the road would have been the side that I would have to change a tire on. So Danny, with a flat tire, crossed 4 lanes. We did it as safely as we could. And then we were on the other side. And then as we're changing the tire, right, something that we encountered was that there was no tire iron in the damn car, the rental we got. There was no tire iron. And there was also torque picks on the lug nuts. So I couldn't even get them off with whatever we had. So we couldn't do it. So then all of a sudden, these 2 guys showed up with a tow truck. They just showed up. We were going to call AAA, but they just showed up with a tow truck. And at that point in time, I just wanted to get us off the highway, Manny.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm cool with paying whatever the fuck we need. We just need to get off this highway. So we did that. But me, Danny, and Basil were shoved in the middle of the front of this truck with one grown man on one side and another grown man on the other side. And Danny, between their legs, was the shifter. That's the situation we're finding ourselves in, okay?
Wait, so you have like 5 people.
Five
in a
people
bench
in a
seat.
cab of 2. Like, this was a cab that was max 3. You know, this was wild. Basil sat on my lap and like held onto their Switch with their entire life, like their game. You know, the game console Switch.
Yeah.
They're like holding on to it because it's like their lifeline. And me and Danny are just making eye contact the entire time while this one guy is talking about Mediterranean food and how you can wait for your car getting fixed and get some nice Mediterranean food. And then, man, whenever he had a shift and he had to go in between Danny's leg, oh my God, Matt, it was fucking wild. His hand was like the claw machine going down. But so we get to this place, and then we got like shook down by these guys, Matt. We got shook down by these guys. As soon as we left the truck, they turned around at Danny and are like, "Who's paying for this?"
Now,
Who's paying for this?
Did they quote you a price or anything before this?
Oh yeah, but I knew it was bullshit. I knew he told me $250, and I knew right away when he said $250 was all you mean $400. You know, but the final price he quoted was $445.
Jeez.
You know, for the tow took us like 7 miles, dude. But again, I made that executive decision in that moment where our safety and everything mattered at that point, and we were so tired. I was like, I know we could call AAA and whatnot, but you know, we should just do it this way. So we get there and we get a discount tire. And then we make some calls, and Maggie tells us that we actually need to be an Enterprise. We should have been an Enterprise the whole time, but we kind of had to do some rigmarole, get the second car, and after like 2.5, 3 hours, we're finally on the road. But we were going from a Volkswagen Atlas, which is like an SUV. This is a huge bus of a car. Okay, we were going from that to a Honda hatchback. And the size difference, Matt, I swear to God, is like 100 square feet. It is the size difference between these two vehicles. Like, Danny pulls up in this hatchback, and I like look at them like, how the fuck we're gonna get our luggage in there?
Yeah, you had a significant amount of luggage.
Yeah. I mean, Matt just saw us load in after we got back tonight. And I mean, the amount of luggage we had was... And I mean, we were gone for 16 days. You know what I mean? And we had boxes of T-shirts that we never ended up selling, by the way, because we're just going to sell them online because it's too hard for us to run the event and also sell all the T-shirts. Because again, we weren't expecting the lines to be 250 plus people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's like we can't do any extra because we have so many people. We have to really focus on making sure that we can get them out safely and timely, you know? So we get into this little hatchback. We pack this thing so tight, Matt, that they just like put stuff on top of me. And Danny cannot see out of the back window. We literally there's no way for us to do anything besides just exist inside this car and turn into like little potatoes. So we're driving like an hour. We get past the Wisconsin line, okay? And out of nowhere, we hear another pop.
Oh, no.
And we're like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way. And we hear a pop. And then we're fine, but we started smelling like the smell of burning oil. And I said to Danny, I was like, I think we're okay. I think I'm just being paranoid. But I would get ready to pull over. So Danny does. And then we started hearing a clipping noise, like something that was catching or something. And then I was like, Danny, you need to pull over right now. And right when I said that, there was this crash like site that was designed to like pull, crash cars into and do investigations on it. So it's like this open area, essentially, almost like a mini rest stop that doesn't have a rest stop,
Okay.
So we pull off into the side there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out. I get out, open the hood rather, and I don't see an oil pan. There's no oil pan in the car. And I'm like looking like, where is the oil pan?
Now, is oil something a car needs?
Matt, I am not the trans car lady. I'm going to be honest to you. But I do believe a car needs oil. And I think when we pulled over, the amount of oil that dropped out was insane. Right? Like none of that oil was being used in the engine anymore, so now it's going to ooze out.
Spray all over everything.
But
else.
that was the thing. The back of the hatchback was covered in it. I think what happened was the oil pan, I don't know what they did. I think because they were giving us another car, they were just like rushing, I think, and they weren't properly doing stuff. So we were driving with a loose oil pan, I think, in the car. So when we hit a bump, that pan went flying, which I hope everyone behind us is okay. But then I can only imagine because we can't see out the back window, Matt. We have no idea if the oil shot behind us like that.
You're just Mario
and then
Kart.
Covered.
It's Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think we just greased the fucking cars behind us. That would explain all these cars passing us really angrily. But we got out of the car and we do the investigation and we see the back of the hatchback and it is covered in oil. I mean, it is so bad. It's covered in oil. And I'm like, wow, I don't know what the hell we did. So we call, Maggie. Maggie helped us coordinate to get another tow truck. We empty out the entire car. And we call Atlas, who is Danny's partner. And he comes and saves the day. But he has to pack us in even more than we did other times because he had some stuff in his car. But also, there's 4 of us now instead of 3. So, they just packed us in like sardines. It was wild. It was absolutely nutso butso. But that was tonight. So we got here like 4 hours later than we were supposed to. But we got here finally. And now I'm going to take about I'm probably going to end up taking a week to 2 weeks off now. And then I'll be back towards the end of the month making videos and content and doing more podcasts. And then probably going to be gone for another 2 weeks for the book tour that's going to start in Boston, go all the way down in the East Coast, and then end in Tampa. If you want to know where we're going to be, as always, you can go to my website and you can find a full list. So go to mercurystardust.com with all of the upcoming and remaining spots for the tour. There are about 37 or 38 locations remaining. We got an East Coast, West Coast, and Midwest tour still lined up coming in the fall. So, Matt, there you have it. That's what I'm up to, buddy. But all that being said, without further ado, I'm going to let Matt play this special episode for you. And thank you all so much for listening. And thank you to every single person who has come out and supported me, especially those who have brought in trans kiddos. To all the amazing trans kids, if they're listening to me at all, thank you for coming out. It was a special treat to see you and meet you all in person. I love you a great deal, and it was an honor to shake all of your hands. It really mattered a lot to me. So, yeah, there you go, Manny.
Now go get some rest.
Oh, time to sleep. So have fun listening to the episode. Bye-bye.
Should we put headphones on and make this part of the
We can
pre-show, after show,
we can
show?
We make this part of the pre-show, after show. Ba 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 ba
Ba ba ba ba ba.
ba 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 ba.
Doo-doo-doo.
Oh, there I am.
You just had your volume down.
Yeah, that was what was happening. I'm gonna go get a stand and my phone, and then charge my phone, and then.
Do you want me to grab some batteries?
Wow, Maggie.
For the light.
Way to take my thunder. I was gonna be like Maggie, and I'm gonna change the light for you.
Okay.
And then you just interrupted me.
I like to be helpful.
Wow. I couldn't tell.
Sassy.
I know. Maggie, I've been spending the last 5 days isolated in my home because everyone thought I should take a break. And then I'm taking a break. It was a forced break, by the way. I felt like I was doing a break at gunpoint. And I absolutely hated it. I hated it. For those who don't know, we're recording a podcast. This is an after show, pre-show.
And for those on the podcast, Mercury is on live stream also.
Yeah, I should probably have mentioned that before.
Eating and drinking on a podcast.
Everyone's favorite thing. Everyone loves chewing on a podcast, right? Maggie, don't do it to me. Why would you do that?
You're doing it to me.
I wasn't doing it on purpose, though. You did it right into my eardrum. Don't stop it, Maggie. Maggie. I have never been more serious about firing you than I am
You
right
can't.
now.
You can't fire
You're
me.
right. I do not have shit. You're right. Maggie outsmarted me.
You're stuck with me now, bitch. Right on top of that rose.
Huh? What'd you say?
Right on top of that rose.
Right on top of that rose.
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
What is happening?
You've never heard that quote?
No, I have no idea what you're referencing.
The babysitter Rose is babysitting these punk ass kids from like the 90s or 80s, late 80s, early 90s in the movie. And
What movie are you talking
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh yeah, no, I know that movie.
Yeah.
But
So,
hold on. I literally came in here and be like, I need to get some drinky drinks, and then all of a sudden I heard your response, and I'm like, what is happening? How do those two get related?
Well, because I thought you said we need to get some drinks. Like you were, it seemed like you were asking me to get more drinks, and I said right on top of that, Rose. That's just like has been my response for the last 20 years when people tell me to do something.
Okay, so we're gonna do a Patreon only episode, which is right after the episode we do before the episode is recorded.
Okay.
We call it the before after show.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, the before what? How do we say the after show before show?
The pre-show, after show.
The pre-show
Pre-show,
after
after
show. Yeah, where we record it pre-show, but we release it after show.
Okay. Lovely. Wonderful.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm sure no one's confused by it.
I respect the process.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to begin that part, Matt? I'm being nice to Danny. Me and fucking Maggie just go right into it.
Yeah, I'm already rolling.
You're
so we're
already
good to go.
rolling? Okay, yeah.
Okay, what do your Patreon people listen to? What do you talk to them about?
What do I talk to them about?
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
Oh,
I
love
mean,
that.
I'm sure some of them are like, wow, she's so insightful. And other people are like, she talks about farts a lot. And that is the extent, that is literally the extent of my personality to my Patreon only listeners.
Okay,
Like
cool.
it's
It's very authentic.
Yeah, if you think that I am either really intelligent or full of fart jokes, is that what you think I am like in real life?
I think, yeah.
you know, I have never regretted a decision so fast.
As having me on your
Yeah,
show.
yeah, like
That's
literally.
really fair.
It's like you just showed up to the pre-show, after show, and I'm like, we're gonna record a whole episode. What the fuck is this gonna be like? And then right away, Danny's like, "You're full of farts."
You do make fart jokes a lot.
Oh, so
How
much.
often do you talk about your butthole?
I mean, a good amount. I feel like my friends know more about my butthole than my doctors do.
I've met your doctor, maybe.
The other night, this is true. The other night, I farted so loud I woke up Zizi in the middle of the night. But I didn't wake up.
Oh my god.
I woke them up, but I didn't wake up. Zizi said I farted, and I went.
I like having an abundance of things to be able to give away to my friends. And like cherry tomato plants are really easy to grow, and there's always a lot of them. So that way I can grow more than I need and then give some to you.
Here's a confession.
Okay.
Most of the time when my friends give me produce, I don't eat it.
Mercury.
Because, like, I feel obligated. I
I literally told you a week ago I was going to grow you some radishes this summer, and you just
that's-
listened to that with a straight face.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because I'll eat radishes. I like radishes. I feel obligated to take a head of lettuce. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want this lettuce? Yeah, sure. You know, for those who don't know, I eat radishes. I have my pocket radishes that I have with me at all times. I'm not even
She
kidding.
says like it's the most normal thing in the world.
It is not that abnormal. They're just like candy. Radishes are like candy because they're a little bit bitter and, you know, like they're a good kick in the butt. Like if you're not like, if you don't have anything, like if you don't have anything to munch on, they fit in your pocket and they're easy to munch on. They're little mini radishes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have my pocket radishes I carry with me most places. And then I have my car radishes. So when I'm driving, I have a radish or two when I'm driving. God damn it. You're looking at me like I'm an insane person. And I don't think it's that weird. I really don't.
I think of all of the things about you that remind me that you grew up in a very small town in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I think it's the pocket radish phenomena that does it for me.
Is it? It's not the fact that I still talk about Tractor Day.
What the fuck is Tractor Day?
You know what Tractor Day? You don't know what?
I do
You've
not
never
know.
heard of Tractor Day?
No.
Tractor Day is when all the kids would bring their tractor to school
Oh.
once a year. Yep. And if you didn't have a tractor, you brought your lawnmower.
Oh.
Everyone had a riding lawnmower.
Was there a social hierarchy to it, I would imagine?
I mean, yeah, the people who brought nationals got looked down at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to bring your John Deere. You don't fucking come to school with a fucking national. My grandpa was a milkman.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. How was that job?
From what I have heard about it, not great. Not great.
No.
Nope, not great. Didn't pay that well. I did not know that. It was like a newspaper person.
Yeah.
Didn't pay that well.
Did he fuck people?
Jesus Christ, Danny. Danny. Jesus Christ. This is the last time. I swear to God.
Matt, you can take that out, but you can't just leave that open for me and not expect me to take
What do you mean open? It wasn't open. The door wasn't even existed. You just went through the wall like Kool-Aid, man. You're like, oh, let me bring up her grandpa and see if he fucked
didn't bring
anyone.
up your grandpa.
You-
You said the nuclear family and the milkman, and then you said my grandpa was a milkman, and you know what?
Not once did I say anything about fucking. I didn't say anything about fucking at all. And you brought up fucking in relation to my grandfather. Like, Danny, that's on you. That's on you,
That'll
Danny.
be the last time.
I'm sorry I'm coming into today like all talked out. I've been in meetings for like 2 days straight.
Yeah, and I've been on the bike for 2 days straight, so you know, the way I said that was the most condescending way.
Like, fine then.
Yeah, I've been
Good
on
for you.
I've been on the bike for 2 days straight. You know, I got a bicycle a couple days ago, and I got an e-bike, which has changed my life forever. I got a Toho E-Lux e-bike. And thank you to the people who gave me a massive discount at the e-bike store because they recognized me.
That's so cool.
The perks of being somewhat weirdly only very kind of famous in certain circles. It's been really nice. For those who don't know, when I first started TikTok, people would always ask me what my favorite hobby was, and I would always say cycling. Cycling is my favorite thing in the world. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it, but I've wanted to do a double solo century for years.
Wow.
I've wanted, for those who don't know what that is, a double solo century is 100 miles there, 100 miles back, and you're all alone.
I've done 65
Have you?
round trip.
I was hell-bent on doing it, but they're really dangerous. I mean, people have died doing these. They're really intense. Like there's a bunch of different websites that are devoted to century runs, and there's a bunch of different like products like heart monitors and emergency call response. Like if you get knocked off your bike, they call the ambulance right away and locate you. There's a lot of those kind of things, but I just really wanted it. I really wanted to do a double solo century really bad. Because if you know me in real life, you'll know that I don't know how to do anything half-assed. I have to go all in. Either I can't just be someone who casually does a bike. No.
No, I'm the same way.
I have to be
I
all
was the
in.
one who, we talked about this recently with your new bike. I was like, I got into bikes, and then I had 5 bikes, and then I built a bike, and then I would go bike camping, and then I would ride 30 miles and 65 miles. And like, I feel you.
It's really, I'm that way with everything.
Yeah. me
Like
too.
I am that with this business, with TikTok. Like I throw my entire life.
I
into
can't
it.
like just do knitting. I actually like went as far as to like build a whole business selling knit goods and then also designing knit patterns.
Even with burlesque, like people are like, "Hey, do you want to go back to burlesque?" And it's hard for me to imagine to go back to burlesque
Yeah.
and not give it my all, like
Yeah.
not be all in it.
Was that a Lunchable?
Yeah, but not just any Lunchable; it's a pizza Lunchable, the far superior Lunchable.
They are.
If you are going to be a Lunchable, you should be a pizza Lunchable. Maggie, if you were a Lunchable, what would you be?
A soy-free one. Okay. Let me a little context. I'm allergic to soy. There is soy in nearly every like baked good here in Wisconsin. So the crackers have soy because they use soy flour, and I can't eat any of them. I have to be very careful with the bread and the crackers and the things that I eat.
I honestly think that every Wisconsinite comes out with a cheese head, and the fact that we can't be allergic to soy. If we live in, there's definitely people who are, but I mean, they ship you to Minnesota if you're allergic to soy. Because like it is you're
everything.
It is.
Ziggy has tried to bring me donuts like 3 times. And she's like, I think I got the right one this time. And we look at the ingredients, it's like contains soy.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
It was not an issue in Texas, in Austin. Like it was in some things, but not like, I mean, it's like literally in every baked good.
I want you to know that I am going to spread red sauce on a white tablecloth.
Oh, shit.
Am I rolling the dice? Yes.
Technically, it's not a tablecloth, it's a shower curtain. Because I went to Target in person and they didn't have any tablecloths, so I just got a shower curtain.
God damn it. This company. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, that's better.
I think I heard it before I saw it.
My burp?
I was like, what is that noise? Oh, yeah, okay, I see.
I feel like in the last year I have aged so much. Like, and I feel like the older I get, the more of like a grandparent I get with how I talk and do things. Like, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I grunt a lot more than I used to when I move.
I always hate comparing myself to like men, but like my grandpa, who would just be like, "Oh, hey, it was good to see you." And then he would sit on the couch, and he would go, like right away.
I think everybody's grandpa did that.
Yeah, right. And at every family gathering ever, and I last night I was like, "Oh yeah, I love you," and I'm talking to ZZ and. You're having a good night, and I sit down, and 3 minutes later, I am apparently
Out.
I was out on the couch, like my head was right back,
Oh,
and drool was just coming out like a dog in a fucking water bowl, And ZZ said that I was out for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like done.
I didn't record the part where you were asking me though.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you want to record the pre-show after show with me while Maggie's eating?
Great job. It sounded like the first take.
This is just like old times. Maggie is now here, and me and Matt were having a private conversation, and we were recording.
He said I could come in. I asked him.
No, we're just chilling. We're talking about the good old days with me and Matt being a co-host for a show.
Oh, yeah.
And people would get naked for money.
Yeah.
Good old day. Showing your butt for money.
It was a good show.
Matt never stripped for us once.
It's a shame.
I was just working my way up to it.
Yeah, he was.
After 5 years.
Yeah, after 5 years, Matt was getting real close. We were getting close. We're like, no, this might happen. It might happen. It was never going to happen. It was never going to. We had a bartender at one of the venues we used to be at. JD. And JD would, every single week, we had this bit where we were doing the like intermission.
Uh-huh.
Like, everyone go get drinks from JD, everyone make sure you get this and you get that. And also bring me, a shot of cranberry juice or whatever,
Uh-huh.
And JD then would be like, what? And I'd be like, what do you want, JD? And then he would be like, make sure you tip me good or whatever. We would just do a bit back and forth. And then JD would almost always take his shirt off and we would play a song. And then JD would I think one time he got on top of a bar. Didn't he, Matt? Didn't he?
Yes.
He got on top of the bar. And JD owned it. He was
Nice.
really good at getting naked for strangers, really good at it. It was really, I think he literally did a burlesque act one time with us, didn't he?
That I don't remember. But
I
I
think-
have ADHD, Mercury.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Matt, so do I.
Oh no.
Are you saying that this is we're bad at being friends because of this?
I'm saying it's amazing that we've stayed friends for so long, despite both being terrible at maintaining the friendship.
Yeah. I mean, for real. For real. This is why we've always had obligations with one another in order to actually be able to maintain a relationship. Like, I think we went maybe a year and a half, 2 years not seeing each other after we ended our podcast. And then we started doing a weekly show and saw each other all the time. Never talk. The only time we talked was when we were on stage together, or when Matt was off stage in the Voice of God microphone, and then I was on stage with my boobs and stuff, and it was a good time. Right, Matt?
It was a great time.
Okay, good.
I think it's funny that you're looking up to the ceiling,
All right.
waiting for his response, as if he is speaking from the heavens.
For those who don't know, Matt is in a whole different room than we are,
He's on the other side of the door.
which is a different room, Maggie. And we are in this little podcast studio, and I can't see Matt, but I can hear him, kind of like God. So I'm looking up at the ceiling because I'm like, is this the?
It's me. It's
This-
me, God Margaret. What is that book name?
Wait, what?
Are you there, God? It's me.
Are you
Margaret.
there, God? It's me, Margaret. It's a little girl who wants to get her boobs.
Oh, Jesus, really?
It's a very condensed
Oh.
version of that.
Does it work out?
I don't remember. I was a kid when I read it.
Doesn't work out.
I think as much as any
I'm probably never going to read it. So I just wanna
preteen
know how it
angst
ends.
book works out.
That's
They
so
go through
funny.
puberty and they turn into little monsters.
Hey, you know that one book, where there's a girl named Bella and there's a guy named Edward and he's a vampire? Does it work out? I'm going to ask people that now.
Does it work out?
Does it work out? Obama's autobiography. Does it work out?
It worked out. The sequel's terrible.
the immediate follow up was just not what you wanted it to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against landlords. No, I am. That's not true. I'm against the very premise of a landlord.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally called a landlord. What the fuck do you want me to tell you? There is
the
no.
Lord of the land.
Yeah, like
Back from
there is.
medieval times.
There is no way to be a landlord in this industry and be ethical. You can be more ethical or less ethical, but you can't be ethical. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't. Even if you are a landlord and you have one person who is living in your attic, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a roommate situation, and I understand, right? But a lot of times it starts there, right? And it almost always expands a little bit, right? A lot of landlords start that way. So, like, yeah, a duplex, that's also, a lot of people buy duplexes when they first move in, when they first property, they'll buy a duplex. They'll rent out the other side while they live in that one side. And then when they move out of that duplex and buy a house, then they have both of that duplex. And that's how they do that. That's how they get property, and they use it as passive income. And I fucking hate when landlords tell me they got passive income from it. I like, that's just,
It shouldn't be
it
passive.
feels seedy. It feels seedy and not right. And and I hear you. I'm not trying to pass judgment. It's just really hard for me as someone who's been struggling most of her life
Mm-hmm.
to hear people talk about property like it is a way to like better yourself instead of like using it to support something or someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't like it. There is one of the reasons why we have a property value problem in this country is because people hoard fucking land
Mm-hmm.
and they hoard housing. And I just think it's really inhumane in a lot of ways. And I don't know, it just makes me really upset. And I'm going to support people, and I love when landlords are trying to be as ethical as they can. And honestly, we're in a society where we need landlords. We're in a society where like the system is so broken, landlords can sometimes be in a band-aid
Mm-hmm.
because the government ain't come knocking. They're not going to help us.
Yeah.
The subsidized housing is almost a joke in this
Mhm.
country. So like, I don't know what to tell you. We kind of need them to some extent. So it's very difficult because we need so much housing too that apartments tend to be one of the only ways to
Yeah.
get enough housings quickly,
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I really like to do? I like to do maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I do for fun,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what do? I come here on Sundays and I'll like do stuff here
Yeah.
on Sundays. That was my only real day off, but like I get to fucking do shit. But then I'm in the office.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but we don't book any meetings and all that. But yeah, and even when you don't come in, I know that you're watching the content and you're looking at the
Constantly.
comments and you have a way of like being really aware of everything that's happening on your channel. Like I see your content and I read a lot of the comments, but like I know that you're doing it a lot when you're not here.
That's a really good observation. We've never fully talked about that, but
Mhm.
I am 100% tuned into my audience.
Yeah.
And I don't always interact with my audience because if I
Mhm.
did, it would wear me out. I think
But
now
you
that
are reading and watching.
now that I'm medicated, I might interact more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a part of the thing is I couldn't because I would get distracted. Do you know what I mean? Like I would read the comments and then if I would interact, then I would just completely forget about what was happening.
Right.
But now I can read the comments and connect maybe in a lot of ways too. But I don't always comment because if I do, it sometimes leaves me down like a reply would throw me
Yeah.
off the whole night.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I would say that it gives you a knowledge of your audience that I think a lot of content creators don't take the time to do, which has benefited you greatly. Like you know them really well. Like I think I commented this on one of your videos recently. Like your audience or this community of people who are active on your profile and your pages and Patreon and things like that. They are like another member of Mercury Stardust Media. Because like
Oh, yeah.
so much of what we do is built around
And-
what do they need and what is the best for your audience and how you can interact with them and how you can
And-
connect with them.
I don't think that's hyperbole either. I think that's like
Mm-mm.
genuinely
Yeah.
because it is a large part of what we like. So like when we were doing the book tour stuff,
Mm-hmm.
things didn't go the way we wanted it to with our publisher and what they wanted to commit to and what we wanted to commit to. We had very different views on what the book tour was going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm a very big believer in I'm going to trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew the book tour had to be what we wanted. Originally it was going to be 36, but then someone mentioned it to me that, it was a really big number and kind of like unheard of and a little, we bit off a little bit more than we could chew. And then I said, fuck you, we're doing 50. And now that's how we're doing 51 cities. Because don't you ever tell me, when I'm telling you this is what I want to do, the
Mm-hmm.
worst thing you could do, the most disrespectful thing you could do is tell me how I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
It is, I didn't think about how hard this is going to be. Like, I didn't
Mhm.
think about all the logistics.
Yeah.
Like, I am not intelligent enough to know my limitations. Fuck you. I was a
Mhm.
professional traveling performer.
Yeah.
When it comes to on the road living, I bet you I know more about that shit than you do.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I can and cannot handle in a
Yeah.
2-week time period.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most we're doing is Is it 15 cities in 17 days?
I think it's 13.
In 17 days?
And yeah, in
That's
like
nothing.
16 days.
That's fine. That's fine. You know? There's going to be a lot of running, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you first mentioned it, like I remember I did ask. I was like, that's a lot. Are you sure about that? And you said yes. And I was like, okay.
I'm showing a lot of leg today. Not like I'm showing leg like I'm showing off my skin, but like more like I'm showing off that I have legs on TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're just a floating torso.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like a lot of times on TikTok.
It's true. Well, you can't show those feet.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for this feet. And if you do show your feet, people get really woo. If you show your feet, people are like, "What are you doing for free?" Constantly.
I know.
The comment section is constantly like watching out for your feet. There's like two things the comment section on every video care about. My hair, always my hair. And then my feet. If my feet are showing, it's a crisis. It's
when
a
you
crisis.
sit back, you're not in the screen.
Maggie, hold on.
I'm just letting you know.
I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. I'm a professional, Maggie.
Okay.
You're the one chewing into the microphone.
Oh, goodness. Matt, can you edit that out?
No, he cannot.
I'm teasing. I
No,
know. This is the pre-show, after show.
I'm eating your. I'm gonna eat your nuts now. We're children. We're children.
So,
Mhm.
how's your day?
My fly is down.
Is that what somebody said?
Not really.
And it doesn't look like it from here.
It's like barely. No, it's like two zips.
Oh.
You know what? I'm not going to change it now. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it.
Stop looking at her crotch, people.
Yeah. I think that's transphobic. I think it's transphobic. I think it's transphobic to be looking at my crotch and trying to figure things out. But I appreciate you.
For anybody wondering what it's like to work with Mercury Stardust, we probably don't work half of the day because we're actually just joking around and laughing.
Yeah, I think we get in laughing fits like 80% of the time, man.
But it's necessary. It's like, it clears the air. It clears your head. It lets you.
I feel like working with
chillax.
me is one part laughing constantly, one part very serious, kind of sad conversations about where trans people fit into the world.
Yeah.
And then one part batshit crazy idea.
Well, and then also one part making really tough decisions.
I mean, yeah. I feel like, you know what? I feel like it's two parts laughing all the time. If we're going to have 4 parts, I was going with 3, but if we're going to have 4 parts, Maggie, 2 of those parts are definitely laughing all the time. And then one part, tough conversations. And then one part making decisions and doing batshit crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we do very little work in that scenario. We do 25% work.
But somehow we're also doing way too much.
Yeah, because we're talking all the time. Because we're literally laughing too much. But I don't know. I think it keeps us grounded in a lot of ways. I feel like sometimes I feel that little urge to be taken too seriously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy as a content creator to be like, yeah, this is who I am. I'm the trans handyman. Look at me. I'm so cool. You know what I mean? And it's like it's really easy to start like projecting that on every scenario. Like, how dare you? I am the trans handyman. You don't know my name?
So you like it when we take you down a peg or two.
I mean, yeah, I do. But I also that happens from my spouse mouse. My spouse mouse
Oh, I
literally.
bet Zizi gives it to you real
ZZ,
good.
oh my God, ZZ takes me down 5 pegs every day.
They're too smart for their own good.
Yeah, multiple times a day, ZZ will remind me that I'm like mediocre in most other things. You know, like ZZ will say that I'm like the most forgetful person in the world, which is, I mean, pretty fucking true. I mean, I'm pretty forgetful, but like I'm so forgetful that I drink like half of everything.
Oh yeah, no, I dump out like multiple cans
Yeah.
of soda and drinks a day. I
Like-
just did it this morning. I literally, I'll just turn them upside down in the sink and leave them for somebody else to clean up.
So for those who don't know, I have ADHD. I'm medicated now, but I'm definitely still very much ADHD. Like I have very, very strong symptoms. And one of the things is that I'll have multiple drinks going at any given time, but I always forget about them before I can finish them.
So they're just a bunch of half drinks
I'll-
all around the studio.
I'll put down a root beer or a Red Bull, and then I'll walk away and then be like, why is it warm? Sometimes I'll have 2 drinks of the same kind open at the same time for different parts of the room.
Just so you don't have to carry it.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think I did it on purpose. I think I do it on accident, and it
You
just
leave
becomes
it in one area and
Yes.
you get another one.
Yeah, and then I forget that I opened it. And then I'm just like, I have like, at some point, I have like 3 root beers I'm working on at any given time. And then at one point, they're like different temperatures. So then I hold it and I'm like, what? Why is this? Like, oh, taste this
Where's my
good.
cold one?
Yeah, where's my cold one?
Oh my
And I
god.
always think the cold one is the right one, you know?
Ziggy said she was tracking like how many drinks we go through in a week, so she knows how much to
Oh,
buy.
no.
I was like, I don't want to know those numbers.
I don't want to know. A lot of trans femmes are like cottagecore, and a lot of trans masks are like punk rock.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're not saying that's like those are the most universal ones, but they are.
Mhm.
That's a fucking type. You know, a lot of trans femmes I know fucking like.
Mhm.
Cute little fucking dresses from the night. You know, it's not very uncommon for us to be dressing like we're 1950s little pinup girls.
Mhm.
You know, and then trans mask folks just sometimes like they just roll out of fucking bed.
It's
Like,
kind of like just grease lightning.
yeah, agree. Oh my god! Oh my god, Maggie, you're right. It is grease. Holy shit, Maggie! Maggie! That is fucking amazing. That is a realization that I will never forget. Oh my god. I don't like folding socks. Folding
No.
socks
Yeah, it's awful.
is wild to me. I don't know why people do it. I don't know why people fold socks or underwear,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I have never understood it. It drives me bonkers. Why are we folding socks
Yeah.
and underwear? Why
it's
are
just
we
gonna
doing
get
it?
shoved in a drawer anyway. Like,
But
why
no
do you
one,
care?
who cares if it
Yeah.
gets wrinkly? Like,
Yeah.
who cares? No one sees it. And if you have like nice underwear, right?
Yeah.
You fold that and you put that in the nice underwear drawer, right?
Yeah, but like even then, like nice, like silky lingerie isn't gonna fold very well anyway. Just
Yeah, no,
put it
you're
in a
not
ball.
wrong. No, I think it's wild to me. There was a partner way back when I went into her drawer to get in a massager,
Mhm.
and I saw that she had every single thing just neatly folded,
Mhm.
and all her underwear was like folded perfectly.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is disgusting. I don't know why.
Nick is
I don't know
like
why that
a
people do that.
folding king. He is
Really?
so good at folding that like I won't even touch his clothes because I cannot do it justice. Because he gets them really tight and nice and clean and neat and stacked, and he folds them in this like special way. And I'm like,
Really?
I will never fold your
I would-
clothes
can
because
Nick-
I cannot do it.
Can
as
we
well
share
as you.
Nick as a husband? Can Nick come over and like maybe once a week I get Nick, you know?
Just for laundry?
But also someone just said on our live stream that they never have matched socks. I want to reveal something to Maggie right now. Maggie, look down at my socks right now.
Oh, I mean, they're in the same family.
Yeah, I never wear matching socks. But some days it's like I wear 2 white socks, but the white socks that are not the same brand.
same.
Yeah. Sometimes I wear, but it's gotten so extreme that sometimes I wear an ankle sock and sometimes I wear a crucia.
couldn't do that. The
Yeah,
sensory
no,
overload my
I-
body would
it's-
experience.
Maggie, if I have socks, I will like if I got two mismatched socks and then the last ones, and one's just like a toe sock, and the other is like a long fucking thigh high. I'm gonna wear those. Those are the last two socks I have. It would be madness not
See,
to
I just-
wear them.
I just, go buy more socks. I would buy more socks before I wore
This is
that
never-
heavily mismatched.
This has never divided our audience online more. People are like, "Oh no, Mercury! No, I thought you were better than this."
But you have like a lot of autism followers
Yeah.
too, that, like me, that are just like, oh my god, two different sensations on my feet. I would absolutely scream.
Yeah, I will say it's something to get used to. It's not my go-to move. It's to wear one knee high and then one ankle sock. That's not my go-to.
It's a super fun day.
But and sometimes, do you always wear those one pairs of underwear that you don't want to wear? The one pair that you see and you're like, what one pair? But that one underwear that you see and you're like, nah, I'm not wearing that panty today. Are you that person who wears it? I'll wear it.
No.
You don't wear it?
I'm very particular about my undergarments.
Really?
I don't have underwear that I won't wear. I will throw it away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, now I am the opposite. I will wear it until it has so many holes in it, people start praying to it. I just realized that I'm going to have to censor myself now on the podcast because
the live stream.
yeah, the live stream. So I can't say I want to fuck your mom. But anyways, oh!
Whoopsie doodle.
Whoops! Oh shit! Oh no! Okay, let's do the podcast. The theme song was created by Rhodey Walker. Questions were picked up by our production assistant, Ziggy. A big thank you to our executive producer, Basil. And this podcast was recorded and edited by Matthew Allen Haig. Thank you for listening. See you next time. If you enjoyed this episode of the Handyman Hotline, you can listen to an even longer version by supporting us on Patreon. If you support us on Patreon, $10 or more, you'll be able to get an extra long 30 to 45 minute section every single week. Isn't that amazing? More of me and Maggie. Wow! So thank you so much for all those who already support us, and you too can support us and listen to more on our Patreon. Thank you. Bye-bye.